This is the Read Your Keys podcast. I am your host, Joe Lopez. If you're enjoying the content, go ahead and like, subscribe, squish, smash all the appropriate buttons on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and whatever other platforms you're listening to. Today, this is a long overdue podcast. I'm having my friend on, Joseph Smith. You can find him on Twitter at Homestead Padre. That is HMESTED Padre, or on Instagram, which I spend tons of time on Instagram. It's a full Homestead Padre. He is a small space homesteading expert and author. Joseph, glad to be finally doing this, brother.
Me too. Good to be here.
I was telling him before we hopped on, just that southern accent is just worth it. I'm just gonna let you talk for a while, man.
What you want to know about me?
Well, Joseph's over in Mississippi, and you guys just had Ida over there, so everything's all good over there, brother. We were supposed to do this last week, but you didn't have power. That's wild to me. And that's normal over there.
Ida wasn't as bad as Zeta was last year. Zeta, I completely lost all the infrastructure on my farm. Ida wasn't as bad for us. Louisiana definitely got it a lot worse. I was without power for 12, 16-ish hours, somewhere around there. And
is that because you're more rural, or is it because that's just statewide, or?
I am more rural, so the cities get their power back a lot faster than we do.
How far are you from the city?
I am 18 miles from the nearest city.
Well, it's not that bad. But that's normal, though. Because, like, here, we get monsoon season, and sometimes, lightning will strike and the generators will go out, and we'll be out without electricity for a few hours, but that's it. But man, that's a rough few hours because it gets I mean, it's the summertime, so it's hot, so we'll go from nice and cool, start baking real quick, but 16 hours.
Y'all are gonna hear farm noises. I think she just laid an egg.
This is the most country podcast I've ever done.
We were without power for. Are you done? Yeah. So last year with Zeta, we were out of power for 4 days. That was kind of rough. I'm on a well, so if I lose power, I lose water.
Really?
Yes.
Man, you're talking to a city boy. That's why, like that's like, to me, it's like, wait, how's the water and the power connected?
I'm on a well. I pump my own water. I have a 450-foot deep well.
Man, that's
so it's working on an electrical system to power it by solar panel.
Oh, really? You trying to get those Tesla? Is Tesla coming out with something like that?
I would love to get the Tesla tiles put on the roof of my house.
Yeah.
Quite expensive.
Yeah.
I'm needing to replace my roof now anyway after Zeta last year and Ida this year. That stupid chicken. That chicken come and laid an egg right beside where I'm doing this at.
Oh, really?
Instead of out in the field where they normally lay the eggs at.
This is my territory, and now you're encroaching. So I'm gonna come in and lay an egg right here.
But so it's part of rural life. It's part of living on the farm. It's part of being self-sufficient, is having your own water supply, your own power supply. I have homemade wind generator out here that literally we made from parts from a car. We made fan blades from the car. We used it in the vehicle, and we use that to charge the battery.
Did you YouTube that, or was it just like you just had that in your head? It's like, all right, I'm gonna try this out and see if it works.
I did not YouTube that. I am terrible about making videos. Everybody tells me I need to. I do not have a YouTube channel, but I do all kinds of stuff around here that really should be on video if I wanted to make any kind of content out of it. And
Well, I'm saying, did you find out how to do that on
someone
YouTube?
I got some ideas off of YouTube, but I got
Uh-huh.
I had the idea. I had the idea first, but I'm not the first person to have that idea.
Oh, okay.
So I did. I went on YouTube, and really, electrical wise, I knew how to do everything. It was creating the actual windmill, the blades, what would work best, what would capture the most wind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got off of YouTube.
Did you grow up country, like out rural, or
And
were you born like a city kid and you just like, you know what, I don't like this, so I'm gonna move out to and live?
no, I was born in the mountains of North Carolina. Uh,
Okay.
well, technically the foothills, but we were very country.
Yeah.
My nearest neighbor was over a mile away, so it was nothing but fields and woods all around my house.
Mm. Until you were how old?
But I'm 38 years old.
No, how old were you?
Oh,
Are you
till how
because
old?
yeah.
I was there until I was 12. I did move into the city for a year. I went to inner city school in High Point, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It was when my mom and dad split, and I went and stayed with my mom. We were there a year, and then my mom and stepdad bought a house out in the country, so it was back out in the country again.
Mm. How was that year in the city for you?
Um, I mean, it wasn't terrible. I was 12, 13 years old. So I mean, I made friends. I played outside. North Carolina, even in the city, you can find some woods. So I was still playing in the
Oh,
wooded areas,
oh, okay.
and you know, it's I know you're in Arizona, right?
Yeah,
So
I grew up in
y'all don't have a
California
lot of
though, but
forest around.
yeah, no, we got to go. We got to go a good hour and a half till we get to some like forest. And there's like places to like hike and stuff, but I mean it's desert landscape. So, um,
Yeah,
I mean I'll watch like westerns now, and it's like, oh, I guess it's kind of cool if you're like coming through here on a horse or something like that. But it doesn't really like spark my imagination like the woods were. Like I remember as a kid we used to go to Yosemite for vacation. It's just like woods and it's gorgeous. It's like, man, that just kind of like, going from, I wouldn't say even in a city, more of the suburbs, but going from that to Yosemite where you got like streams, you're just like walking out and just like smoggy Los Angeles to like fresh air, like like you had to kind of adjust to the air because it was like, oh, this is what
right.
breathing for fresh air feels like, and it's
No,
like, oh, this is nice.
no, when we go to New Orleans or Mobile or Atlanta, any of the larger cities around us, yeah, there's a big difference between the air I breathe here on the farm and the air in the cities. Everything tastes different, smells different.
Hmm. Well, the pace of life too, right? Like, more and more, I'm liking to have my own space. Like, just like busy intersections. Like, I'll avoid places where it's like, oh, that's like a busy intersection, so like I don't want to go there. I'll drive a little bit farther to go to a place that's less dense. So I can I don't know what it's like to for you, like a mile, but to your nearest neighbor, like to me that's crazy because my neighbor right now, my neighbor is like I can see their wall out through the window. It's like 10 feet away.
Right.
So to have a mile, it's like, oh man, like that. I don't like that would feel. I'm sure it would feel strange to me because I'm not used to it, but I like the idea of it. It's like, hey, like I want to have my own space. Like just if the
I can
weeds grow. Go ahead.
I can see one neighbor back behind me to the right. I can see him through the woods a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Left side of me is all cow pasture, which I grew a 5 foot wide band of woods there. bushes, trees, so it kind of hides the cow pasture. And then back behind me, there's just woods. There's a mile back to the river. There's just wood, nothing but wood straight behind me. And then in front of my house, my driveway is a little over a tenth of a mile, not super long. But I got ponds and fields and a band of trees there, so you can't see my house from the road either. From
Hmm.
that way,
How much? How big is your lot?
3.5 acres.
Nice, man. Yeah, yeah. I think here right now, if you want like for a lot, we're talking like a 10,000 square foot lot. You're probably well, obviously depending where you're at, but like just throw it out there. You're probably paying like 140K for that for
Jeez,
10,000 square feet. Yeah, yeah.
140K here would get you a 3-bedroom house on about 30 acres of land.
Really? So
Yeah.
I need to come check out Mississippi.
there there are 77 acres across the street from my house that I've been watching for years now. Right now the price is 265,000 for 77 acres. There's no house on
Dang.
it, but
Oh,
it's just
it's
raw
just
land.
yeah, yeah, man. Um, I'm not sure how I actually found you, but I've been following you for a little bit. But I know that Coach Joe came out there. How long you known Coach Joe for?
Me and him have known each other for a couple of years, just through Twitter.
Yeah.
He had a family in Mississippi about an hour and a half north of me, and he swung by. He spent 2 or 3 days down here on the coast. We hung out. We went. He really showed me how to source and get into products for profit and all that stuff.
Oh,
We,
okay.
we we literally hang out the whole time shopping.
Two dudes just hanging out shopping.
Yeah. Which I mean, I brought him to the house and I brought out all my guns and
Uh-huh.
we did a lot of shooting. And then
Yeah.
I smoked 2 pork shoulders and
Uh-huh.
made him some North Carolina style pulled pork barbecue.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm sure he enjoyed that.
Yeah,
So how did you
if you come visit somebody in the South, we gotta feed you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I had a tweet something about it. It's like, is there such thing as like a cast iron cornbread? Like, it's like, because I've never had it before, but man, just those two words together, it's like, man, that sounds amazing. And you throw in, butter, and I'm like, oh man, can I have some, please?
That is the only way to make cornbread around here is in a cast
Yeah,
iron skillet.
yeah. Like to me, it's like, is there such a thing? And you're like, that's the only way. It's like, oh, okay. I don't come from the cornbread people. You know that, Joseph.
Yeah, yeah. It's there's a reason Southerners are a little bit fatter than everybody else.
Uh-huh. I'm a bean and tortilla eating people. That's my people. We're not the cornbread. So like, well,
There you go.
we like food for sure, but that's just not something that we make. I don't even know how old I was when the first time I had cornbread, and might have been a teenager.
Man, I grew up on it. Pinto beans and cornbread's a meal. That's a whole meal.
It does sound good though. That's like us. We'll have like sometimes you just have like little bean tacos, just like a tortilla, put some beans in it. Like, there you go. You're fed for now.
Nice.
Hey,
Which
so
we
when
I grew up really poor. So
uh-huh. But yeah, man, you it looks
we
like
we,
you ate.
we left.
So you grew up poor, but then you went to the military, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Was that something that you had? Because I know some people were. It's like, hey, this is generational. Like my father went, my grandfather went, and I'm going. Or was this for you? Was
Um.
just like, hey, I just want to go and get out. There's a lot of reasons why people, a man will join the military.
There are generations. My dad was in the army. My granddad, both of my grandfathers were in the Navy. Um. We have family history going all the way back to the American Revolution. There's been somebody, an uncle, a grandparent, somebody's been in the military. I did not join for generational reasons. I joined for college money. I got
Mm-hmm.
a $90,000 scholarship.
Baby, that much, huh?
Yes.
And this was this 01, 02?
This was 2000. I enlisted in 2000.
Oh, you did. Okay. Okay. So pre 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
because
I'd already been in about a year when 9/11 happened.
did you get deployed over there too?
Um, I did. It's not one I talk about very often.
Okay. Yeah, and then so you get out of the military and then you move back to North Carolina, or you head over to Mississippi.
Um, the military. When I got in the military, I flew into New Orleans, Louisiana. Um, Came back to Mississippi. My stepmom come got me from the airport. Came to Mississippi for, see, it was November 2014. I was here until July of, or 2014, 2004. I was here until July 2005. Um, and it was a month later that Hurricane Katrina hit everything down here. So
Oh,
in
that's
July,
right.
I moved back to North Carolina, to where my other, to where my cousins, my grandparents, everybody else lived up there.
I forgot about Katrina, man. Yeah, that was so that affected a lot of your family over there.
It did. I lost everything that I owned in Katrina because when I left here in July. Katrina hit in August, but I left. I left literally with a bag of clothes, and I went and stayed with a friend while I got a job and got an apartment. And the plan was to come back down here and get all my stuff from my dad's
Gotcha.
house once I got
Gotcha.
established. Katrina hit. Everything was in my dad's attic. My dad no longer had an attic after the hurricane came through,
It was all the
so
way. It went all the way up. Oh, it went all the way up into the attic.
yeah, it took the roof completely off the house.
Dang.
So everything I owned, a couple things got recovered. They found some stuff of mine, down the street and some trees, but I generally lost everything, which I didn't own much anyway. I don't want it to sound like I lost like a whole house full of stuff. It was like 5 boxes, but
Oh, okay. But
I
still, it
mean,
was your five. It was your 5 boxes, though.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't long out of the military, and I got divorced while I was in the military, so I didn't leave with much, so I didn't
Uh-huh.
have much to lose anyway.
Mm, mm. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is you recently wrote the book, The Christian Heathen, which I purchased, and I think I got maybe like 40, 50 pages in there. But I thought you brought up some really interesting points in there in the book, and you kind of talked about your faith walk, which is an interesting story in itself. How long did it take you to write the book, man? Because you seem like a prolific writer. Not because
I
like
wrote.
you have that book, and then you have like articles that you write in between. It's like, dude, when does this guy stop? It's like you got stuff coming in all the time.
Yeah, I wrote. I write for Barbarian Writer every week, every Wednesday. I have an article that comes out, on top of my newsletter and everything else. But that book took me. I guess it took me about 4 months to write.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Actually, I probably wrote half of it in 1 week. So we took a vacation to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and while my wife and the kids and my parents were all down on the beach and everything, I sat on the balcony of the condo, looking out over the ocean, and kind of went a little Ernest Hemingway and just wrote for a week straight. I just wrote. I wrote 12
Mm-hmm.
hours a day.
12 hours a day?
Yeah.
No wonder. That's not normal though, right? Like writing 12 hours a day. That's not normal.
No. I took advantage of being on vacation, not having any other responsibilities.
Yeah.
Pretty much threw the kids off on my parents, so I didn't have to worry about the kids. And I just kind kind of did my thing. It was my opportunity to finish it, and I took it. And that book is a book that I really wanted to get out for a long time. And it's actually is one of those dream things. I had a dream to write a book. I wanted to write a book, and once I started on that one, that became my mission right there.
You didn't have one before. You didn't have one before. I thought you would have had one before for some reason.
I had a couple of ebooks,
Oh,
but not
okay.
an actual published book.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because I was like, I'm pretty sure I've read some of
I
that
have a
before.
gardening ebook and some other things.
You're not counting those.
Yeah.
So how? So you've had that idea for a while then to write the book, but it wasn't until you actually did the Christian Heathen then that that's your first baby then.
Yes, it is.
No, it was good. Like there was some things I really enjoyed. I remember I even sent a message like, "Hey man, like this has been really cool. I'm really enjoying reading this." Um, I think there's I'll just put it easily, criticisms of the church. I think that were pretty valid in there.
And I tried to not be unfair, but
Right.
it's things that I've seen personally and things that other people have said to me that validated my own concerns. I tried to stick with those and not create a personal opinion in my criticisms.
Yeah, I thought you were very fair about that because you know there's like the Twitter way to write, right, where you kind of like state your opinion and like this is the end all be all, but in your writing it's like, hey, like I'm taking a look at all sides because part of writing on Twitter or just to like, hey, like I'm just trying to, I want to stir the pot or whatever. I do it, because it's fun to me, but like
Right.
here's a different avenue, just like I'm the same person all the time, but I approach things differently on the podcast than I do on Twitter because on Twitter I'm just I'm popping off a silly thought or whatever, but and I'm silly all the time. But when I'm talking to somebody, it's like, hey, like I engage different because it's a different medium. And so I saw that you were doing that in the book, is that you were looking at like all trying to look at all sides and being as objective as possible, if there is such a thing as being objective. Um, because I'm the church means a lot to me. I'm what you'd call a Christian, and I think through the last like year and a half, where there could have been a place to step up, that didn't really happen, and to me that was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, it's with the pandemic and the lockdowns and everything, a lot of churches had some opportunities to step up. I'm happy to say the church I attend, we shut down for 6 weeks, and pastor's motto was, "If the casinos can open, so can we."
Mm-hmm.
So when all the casinos, where I live at Vegas to the south, we have casinos everywhere down on the
Mm-hmm.
beach. So once the casinos open back up, church doors open back up, and we've been going ever since. So
Mm-hmm.
we've been going to church since May of last year.
I think.
So there was that. I mean, we've had sanitation team every service in the sanctuary and everything, but it's took a moral stand, and we've all stood by it. So
Yeah. Yeah. The church I was going to was closed, and then there was a church I had kind of had my eye on, but it's a little farther drive for us. And then because I commute, like it's like pretty much a 1 hour commute almost with traffic up to work and back. It's like, well, I'm not gonna drive for church again, so I'm not gonna go check this church out. But then when all the other churches were closed, it happened that that church was open. So it's like, well, I might as well check it out now. And so we've been going ever since. I think they opened in May, and they were. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not involved in the leadership with that church or anything, but I'm pretty sure there was a lot of pressure because there was no other churches open, and we got to go in there, and it felt great just to be in worship again. Because I mean, it's nice. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's nice to, like, if your church
Yeah.
offers like online service, and it's okay, sometimes you can't make it, so it's like, hey, you know what, like the kids were up late and we couldn't, or a kid is sick. It's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna take the kid into the nursery, so we'll do online service. And it's like, okay, you can like watch church while you make breakfast. That's nice from time to time, but there is something different about like being with other people, worshiping, and being together. That meant a lot. Like I think that was one of the things where I'm a person of faith, and I have my beliefs, and I'm the one that protects my family. But it was nice to go somewhere and feel like you could be somewhere and be normal with other people, especially like when it was like at its height.
Right.
I don't know if we got a delay.
Oh
Can
yeah,
you hear me?
absolutely. Our church membership almost doubled during that time frame because most of the churches around here shut down as well.
Hmm. Yeah. One of the interesting things was at the new church. So I'd never heard it before. Because did you grow up in church,
And
Joseph?
yeah, I think we've picked up a delay here.
Joe's out in the sticks, but he still got Wi-Fi though. I think we'll be all right.
I did not. I didn't attend church until I was about 30 years old.
Are we caught up?
It's weird that my Wi-Fi dropped all of a sudden. My,
Chicken's messing with you?
hold on. We're gonna take a trip.
My boy is country.
Go from one setup to another.
All right.
Trying to get a little closer to the house here. There we go. The signal's better.
Yeah, we're all green now.
I'm gonna fix this problem.
You got a great laugh, man.
Do what?
Yeah. All right, that chicken can leave you alone now.
Yeah. Yeah, I moved inside to moved into the living room. So
All right, you gonna wake up the kids? I think it'll be all right.
yeah, that'll be fine.
So, what was I saying? Oh, so you didn't grow
I
up in
do.
church. You said it was
I
until you
do
were
enough
30 years old.
podcasts that they know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife is the one that got me in the church. I grew up. I grew up with a. I don't know how else to put it. I grew up with a bunch of witches. To put it bluntly, not like witchcraft, dancing with the devil. Like my great grandmother was the neighborhood medicine woman, so to speak, up in the mountains. Um, my mother was a practitioner, and I grew up in that occult. I practiced occultism all the way through my military career. My dog tag said Wicca on it for my religion. Um, it was I got out of that say I was about 24, 25, and I kind of went the atheist route and didn't really believe in anything or practice anything. And it wasn't until I met my wife that I actually started attending church.
What was it? What was it about her that kind of drew you to her, or that even that you would be open to going?
Um, she asked me to. Um, my wife was raised old school backwoods Southern Baptist. She was raised by her grandmother, which was a diehard backwoods Southern Baptist, and you know, so you have to understand. My wife, I've been through some really bad relationships in my life. So when I met my wife, like it was one of those, I'm going to make sure this woman has whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good woman. She's the unicorn that everybody talks about.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked me if I'd go to church with her, and I fought it for a little while, but I finally got to thinking about it, and I was like, it's like she really wants me to go. The kids go, so yeah, I'll start going with her, and it went from there.
So it was really just, well, I guess the goodness that was in her that you wanted to protect that and to keep that going. That was a motivating factor for you.
Yeah, it'd be a good way to put it. I wanted her to be happy,
Right.
and if me going and sitting in the pew for an hour every Sunday would make her happy, then I was willing to do it.
Well, that's an interesting thing too, because I mean, you could sit in the pew and be somewhere else. So was there something
Right.
that was just like kind of working in you as you were exposed to it, or was it just like the one time it was like he's talking about me, and I don't want to keep going this way, or
No,
you
I
know.
never had that. So I never had that. My conversion story is kind of interesting. Um, I never had that whole the preacher's talking straight to me, or I never read a verse in the Bible that was like, wow, that's my life. I gotta fix some stuff.
Hmm.
Cause I hate saying I was a pretty good person because that's what every non-Christian says. Well, I'm a pretty good person, but I worked hard, I loved hard, I played hard, raised my kids, made sure my wife was happy. Um, my marriage was very biblical, in the way it played out without me actually realizing it was a biblical marriage. So it kind of just fell in that what the preacher was preaching about wasn't it wasn't a smack in the face, oh, I'm a sinner, I gotta fix this. It was more of a, this kind of describes the life I'm living. So I kind of picked up on it more and more. And my wife gets full credit for that. She gets full credit for us having a biblical marriage, living a biblical lifestyle before I realized
Hmm.
it was a biblical marriage or lifestyle. She kind of orchestrated all that. When we first got together, when we first moved in together, my wife told me, she was like, she goes, "You're the man. You get to make the decisions." And I was like, "No, I don't think so." And she's like, "No, yeah, that's your job. I depend on you to help me figure things out and to make decisions, the hard decisions." So it was my wife really pushed me into that lifestyle. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, without me realizing it was a biblical or a Christian mandated lifestyle.
Well,
Conversion wise, I had nothing to do with a lesson preached or a verse in the Bible. It has a lot to do with me being drunk in the backyard, and in the middle of my drunken fit, something came over me. A feeling. I'll shorten this. A feeling came over me, and I hit my knees and I just began weeping and asked God to forgive me for everything I've ever done. conversion happened half drunken state in my backyard at
Hmm.
like 11:30 at night.
That I've never heard that before. For sure, you're a different type of dude, man. Um, Going back to your wife, it sounds like she set the context though for it, and you were kind of living it. So it almost sounds like it was like, oh, we're already kind of here. But I didn't have. I don't know if the structure is the right word for it, but just kind of like, oh, like now I kind of see what my wife had kind of set up for us, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna step into this now. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it is. I knew. So you have to look at how it was before we got together. My wife was a single mother, two little boys when I met her. I had no children, and so I stepped into a lot, and I think it helped that I had no idea what I was doing, kids, or really being in that role of responsibility to having children around, and a woman that's also a mother and not just a girlfriend or
Mm,
you know. So I think all those factors kind of played into where we landed.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, because there is the responsibility. And yeah, she has to be responsible, and now you are too, without the run up to raising kids. Just like you're just now like, okay, well, you're the man in their life, so just have at it without having that experience. But do you think you're probably like, because you said that you were already kind of doing those things, taking care of responsibilities. I'm sure that had a lot to do with it, and living a biblical lifestyle without knowing it.
Yeah, and I had a great dad growing up. He wasn't the alpha male type um, Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighting dude. He was a guy that liked to drink beer and have bonfires on Saturday night, and
Hmm.
but he worked very hard. And I'm the oldest of 9 children,
Oh, really? I didn't
so
know that.
my dad, yeah, and actually I'm second in line. There's a tenth. There's an older sister I've never met. Um, my dad got a lady pregnant when he was stationed in South Korea, but that's a whole other story. And so he's I've always known him to be sun up to sundown, working his hands to the bones. He's 62 years old now, and he's beat up. He's already had a hip replacement. He's got trigger finger, one on each hand. He has to go get shots in from time to time. He has to get needles in his back to get the pain out of his back, and he's always worked very hard manual labor jobs my whole life. I've always seen that for any fault I can give my dad, I cannot take that away from him, that he has been a provider, a hard worker and a provider. So I kind of took that um, example that I had growing up, and just yeah, I didn't know how to be a dad um, to these two boys. So that's what I did. I just kind of fell into what I remembered my dad being when I was younger,
Hmm.
and just rolled with that.
So would you do a lot of the work with your dad? I mean, if he's working sun up to sundown, you're oldest of nine. It's like, all right, Joe, come on, you're helping us, or you're helping me. We're doing this thing.
No, he worked 2 cities over, so he
Oh,
had like
okay.
an hour and a half commute every morning.
Hmm.
Um, so I never seen him. It was dark when he left the house and dark when he came home.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
but I know he's working hard. He come home with his hands gashed open and all arm gashed open, and he's 62 years old. And if I go to his job now, um, randomly, you'll see blood trickling down his arm, or he's cut himself on something, and he's just like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully,
Old school.
hopefully we can get him retired soon. That's
Yeah,
the
old
goal.
school. Yeah, he's most guys are built different. Like I just did a podcast with Stephen Marshall. It's like, yeah, we grew. I mean, I think I grew up easy for sure. It's like, my job now is me sitting at a computer, typing and clicking away on a mouse. Like, I have to look for the discomfort. Whereas I've never bled at my job. Like there is, if I bleed at my job, it's just something I did because like I tripped over something going to go get coffee at the break room, or like something silly, like we had a potluck, like like
Right.
there's no like, hey, we're trying to put this motor in, and like I smashed my finger because the crane gave out or something. And there's none of that. Like, hey, I haven't filled out a job application in a long time, but you remember it was like, can you lift over 50 pounds? I was like, why do they put this here? Like, I've never lifted any weight for my job ever. Like, maybe it's like I lift my computer setup needs to get switched over or something like that. But then we actually have people that come in and do that for us because we're not supposed to touch our computers. So it's like I don't know. I don't know if that's good for us. I know it's not very satisfying for sure, but I mean, it's
Yeah,
satisfying that I get to provide for my family.
I have done logistics and warehouse management for about 15 years, and I was always happier in the warehouse when I was forklifts and I was moving the boxes, and
Mm-hmm.
getting my hands in there and being manual with it. I ever transferred to a strictly office position, I was miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think we're meant to sit and.
What do you think it is? You think it's like, I don't know, being able to like feel and see the progress of being able to do the work. It just kind of, what do they call it? Whatever lizard brain we have. It's just like, yeah, that gets satisfied. Like, I did something today. Whereas like when you work an office job and you filled out some forms, it's like, okay, like I felt like, yeah, spun my wheels for a couple of hours,
Yeah,
and
it's like when you cut your lawn.
mm-hmm,
Um, you stop when you're done and you look at it and you go, "Yeah, it looks good."
mm-hmm.
Um, I think we get a satisfaction by actually being able to visually see what we've actually accomplished. Um, you know, I've done it vacuuming the carpet before. You get done, you're like,
Yeah,
man, that looks so much better.
yeah, it does.
It's I think we get a satisfaction from it.
I think it's almost like, well, like I think about you in the book, because the book
It's
cover was really cool. Like, I think that might be the same satisfaction. It's like I created this. There was a million thoughts going through my mind, and I channeled them, and then I created a cool book cover. I was actually looking for the book, but we went on. I took it with me on vacation, so I don't know where I unpacked it because I was looking for it because I wanted to pull it up. But the book cover itself is like is like really cool. It's like, you have because you designed the book cover, right? Because I've seen that picture before, so I was like, I'm pretty sure that you did that, but I don't want to. If somebody else did it, I don't want to take credit from them.
yeah,
But
that's a picture of me.
no, I know it's a picture of you, but did you do that whole design too?
Oh yeah. I did all the filters. I laid everything out. I did the word placement and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that had to be super satisfying to be able to do that.
Yeah, of everything I do, I'm probably happiest with my graphic design work and my photo editing. Um, that is a service I offer to several people, or to anybody that wants it. But I've done several for people, and yeah, it is. It falls along the same line. So I take a picture, just a standard color picture of you, and then I can turn it into something that's kind of badass looking,
Mm-hmm.
and then you love it, and which makes me love it even more. So it just
Mm-hmm.
feeds that satisfaction that create it. And doing photo editing and graphic design work, it crosses that satisfaction threshold with our creativity threshold. All people are creative, ways from each other, obviously, but we got to feed that creativity in us.
It's interesting that you say that because I think that your writing is really good because I read your barbarian rhetoric articles and I think of you as a writer, but I didn't know that you enjoyed the graph. But oh, you were a tattoo artist before, right? Is that part of it?
Yeah, I was tattoo artist for 4 years professionally.
Yeah, yeah. That's why you know because Joseph could talk about a lot of things. Like if you follow on his timeline, he can go from like one category to something completely different. And then like you talk to him, it's like, oh yeah, I used to do this thing over there. It's like you had time to do that. Like when did you have time to do that? So because it's like because I think of like I think of your writing. That's like one of the big things I think when I think of you, Joseph. I think of your writing. And I think of like the homesteading, and then you have the podcasting, and so it's like you know you associate a lot of the people that I interact with, like you associate certain things with them. But and then it's like for me and you, like we have our own separate group chat, so that's why I like talking to you because you like to bust balls and I like to bust balls. So it's like, oh, like these are just like like somebody I would have hung out
Yeah,
with before because like we would be like in the back of the class like cracking jokes because that's what I like to do. And then so there's that part of that I just just like the oh he likes to have fun, like all right, cool, like I can like he can make fun of me, you know and then we can make fun of other people that we hang out with. It's like, oh, okay, like this is fun. But I think it's
yeah,
really
and
interesting that you said that because I didn't realize that was what like Twitter was doing for me because I don't think of myself as creative at all. Like I'm like, oh, I'm not the creative guy. Like I wear black shirts all the time. Like I'm not creative, but like being able to like put my thoughts out on Twitter has been like, oh, like this is kind of like this is interesting. Like because I talked to Jeff Putnam and like Joshua Lysick, and like these are like writer guys. Like to me, like you're a writer. Like to me, it's like, man, I'm just I'm gonna tweet something and see what happens. But it's very creative, and I think it kind of like feeds whatever creativity there is because there is not a lot of creativity in my life and professionally because my job is my job. I have my kids and stuff like that, and that that's different. But it's like something that's like, oh, this is like my outlet, so to speak, and I get to be silly, so which is fun for me, and the
right.
podcast too.
Yeah, it's let's see, the podcast is creativity. You're releasing your creativity there too. So we all have it in us. It's just some people it's artistic, some people it's with words, some people it's with actions.
Hmm.
You have me laughing quite a bit on Twitter. That is creativity to me. Comedy is a form of creativity. Personally, thank you for accepting me into your people, by the way.
What's that?
But said I've never gotten to personally thank you for accepting me into your people.
Oh yeah. I mean that same joke with Jeff Putnam because Jeff has 9 kids, but then you're Joseph Smith. It's like, well, this dude looks Mexican, but he's got a Smith name. So is he Mexican or Mormon? Like, I really don't know. Like, he'll be one of us.
I am neither, but no, it's so funny because I'll go into gas stations and I'll have Hispanic people talk Spanish to me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you're
No,
saying.
no hablo.
Um, I've been assumed, especially when my hair gets a little longer and I kind of have it like yours, where it's kind of back and over.
Uh-huh.
Like it really gets worse then. Um, but no, it's Jeff's such a great guy too. I've spent the last 2 holidays up there with his family, my family and his family. But as far as how you view me as a writer, see, it's so funny you view me as a writer. I don't view myself as a writer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as an author, I've authored a book, I've authored some articles, but I don't know. I guess I've never really sat and thought about myself as a writer. But writing is something I enjoy. I have my second book out now too. So I'm
What's the
planning
title
on
of
a
that book?
third one by next spring.
What's the name of the second book that just came out?
The second one,
Yeah,
is Musings of a Modern Barbarian,
that's right.
and it is literally just a collection of it's like a year and a half worth of blog articles that I've edited down and tied in together, and just it's a physical copy of everything I've done digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm actually going to make a series of that every year. I'm going to take the prior year's digital writings and compress it into a book. So there'll be musings of the modern barbarian 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have a series ongoing with that.
The Modern Barbarian, was that your idea?
Yes.
Yeah. Where did
Um,
that come from? Because I mean, that's an
which
interesting idea.
well, I can't say it's originally my idea. So I stole the barbarian title from barbarianrhetoric.com,
Well, yeah,
which is
yeah.
who I
I
who
get
I
I
blog
get what you're
write
saying.
for.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Uh, um, it's I had a discussion with somebody, and I can't remember if it was Nathan, the owner of Barbarian Rhetoric, or who it was. We had this discussion about what a barbarian was. We were talking about the definition of a barbarian, which was anybody that lived outside of the major civilizations. It was talking about Greco-Roman civilization and things like that. So we were like, well, we're modern barbarians. Or I said, well, we're modern barbarians because we don't really fall in line with what society and civilization says we're supposed to be right now. Um, which that kind of goes political, into a political area that I try to avoid for the most part, but I end up getting pulled into sometimes. Um, so that's where we created the term the modern barbarian. We exist outside of what society says we're supposed to be. The patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
My lifestyle is very patriarchal. My family, my wife, and my relationship. That's wrong now in today's society. So that makes me live outside of that societal norm. So I am a modern barbarian for that, and many other reasons, but just that one as an example.
Yeah, I I got recently called a Neanderthal and a dude bro. So I think I might turn it into a Neander Bros.
I love it. It's like oh what's the one going around? Wife is sexual.
Wifeful sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I was I had the thought like everybody has their proclivities and they throw them out there, right? Like you don't even know. It's like, before it was like metrosexual, right? Like I think that was like 15 years ago. It was just like a guy who like really took care of his appearance, but it didn't really mean anything about his sexual orientation. It was just he was a guy that like spends a lot on what do you call it, like beauty products, or grooming products, like really takes care of himself. And then now you have
Yeah.
like and now you
Skincare, pedicures,
yeah,
manicures,
yeah,
things like
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. And then you got into like people who like I've seen, it's like, like women marrying trees, people marrying themselves. Like you got all kinds of weird stuff. So it's like, oh man, I'm a wife of sexual, man. It's just my wife is the only one that does it. Like that's it. I'm coming out. That was pretty fun. It's always
Yeah,
interesting. I mean,
that
you've been
was
on long. Go ahead.
that was great.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the initial reaction is like the people that you
Oh,
know,
no, I was
and
just
it's just
saying
like
that was great. I loved it when I first seen it.
it's always fun the initial reaction to something. It's like you have your people like you and some of our other friends and stuff. It's like it's a giggling, and then sometimes it gets like outside of that friend group and people who get offended, and it's like this wasn't for you anyway. So stop. Like you don't even know me. So stop. So now it's getting really fun.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's like the group that we're in the Twitter DMs with John and everybody.
Hmm.
Um, it can be kind of fun carrying like with Seth's picture that you
Yeah.
tagged me in. Um, that was fun. That was fun bringing that inside joke out and
Yeah.
seeing what people were like. What?
What are these guys talking about? Don't worry about it. Our boy Seth, man. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah, it's yeah. I know. I messaged him. I don't know if he's gotten it yet. He hasn't responded yet.
Are you gonna turn
Oh,
that one
Seth, the
into a
nipples!
graphic?
Finally, the nipples.
We've been waiting for it. It's like you got women in New York who are trying to free it, and we're just trying to get a sneak peek of it, man. Come on, brother. Show show us what you got.
Yeah,
Are
snow
you gonna?
season's coming soon, so he's gonna have to step up.
Oh yeah, it seems about to be sharp. Oh, he's up in Michigan now too. So yeah.
Yeah,
Are you gonna make a graphic design of that one?
I got to.
You
I
have
do
to.
have to. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with that one for a minute.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll come up with something, man.
It's great, and that's what's fun about Twitter. And you're talking about earlier. You said you like to stir a pot a little bit, and that's what makes like the Seth thing great. Is we all know what we're talking about. We got the inside joke,
Yeah,
and you pull it out, and to see people get so worked up over it, it's comical.
yeah,
And maybe it's not the right thing to do, but it's still pretty fun.
yeah, yeah. I always say like I don't ever have any malicious intent. Like I'll make fun of people, but I can like I hope people don't take it like I'm being mean because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to make fun. Like my skin's pretty thick. Like you can make fun of me. I mean, just don't be disrespectful. So I try not to be disrespectful, but I'll still make fun of people because if like a joke is there, it's like
Yeah,
like I don't want to do it.
yeah, there's always going to be somebody offended. No
Yeah,
matter how innocent and playful the joke is, and that's
yeah,
just where we are. And
yeah,
that's the downside of social media.
yeah. That's why I get. That's like when I found you, I was like, oh, this he like I like he busts balls. Like all right, cool. Because usually like people who bust balls, like you can do it back to them. Because like I'm always like hey, like I'm like I'm just saying this plain, but I don't know if they're gonna like get mad about it. Because then like when somebody gets mad to me, like the fun's over. It's like oh you're not fun anymore. Like all right, you took it personal. Like all right, like this isn't fun anymore. I just like take the joke for what it is,
Yeah,
and then have fun with it, and then like we can move on. Like
yeah.
I'm not trying to be.
You got to bust balls because it's like I think 2 years ago. Um, oh, I can't say that publicly. That's not public knowledge. Never mind.
All
So
right, we'll just go back
a
to the.
person that I know,
Uh-huh.
they had they had a pregnancy scare is the wrong word, but that's the term we use. Wasn't
Hmm.
sure if his wife was pregnant or not. And he has quite a few kids. And I sent him a screenshot of a how to use a condom um, information packet,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "There you go." And so you got to bust balls, you got to have fun,
Yeah.
and you probably know who I'm talking about just by that brief description.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I won't say anything more. I know what you're talking about. And it's been a lot. I think I'm surprised. I'm surprised by how much fun. Like I had Jeff Putnam had a tweet, and then something about his kids, and then I was like, oh, his kids came out looking like, oh, because he said his kids. He said something about his kid, and I was like, oh, Jeff's kids came out with like a beard or something like that, and then he had posted
Yeah,
a
I
picture
remember
of the
that.
baby, a baby with a beard. And then I replied as like, "Oh, what did I say? I said something like, "Whose kid is this? Billy Mays' kid?" And then it was like, "No, it's Jeff Putnam's." But I guess Billy Mays' actual son had liked the tweet, and I was like, "This is too much fun!" Like I didn't know how I even got to this. Like this is actually Billy Mays'
Yeah,
son
I remember
saw
that.
this, yeah, and because I I was kind of like, Saturday was football season. I'm a big football fan, so I wasn't really on Twitter at all. And then like Jeff had messaged me. He's like, "Hey, Billy Mays' son actually liked this tweet." And I was like, "Oh no way! Like this is too much fun." Like I don't know. It's just it's silly to me. Like it's not really a big deal. Like like if a big person kind of follows me. I just thought it was just like really funny that it's like, oh, Billy Mays' son actually liked a tweet talking about Billy Mays' son. Like that to me, that's the joke. That's what makes it so fun. Like, oh no way! Like I don't know this guy. Like how did this even get to him? This is amazing.
Yeah, it's like uh I've had a few run-ins. Never with anybody famous, but I've had like big corporations or something tweet me back
Oh yeah.
or retweet something that I post. And what's so great about it is it's almost always a I have tweeted a complaint and tagged them in it, and they've like DM'd me, but I'll crack a joke about Coca-Cola or somebody. The last one was Sonic drive-in,
Hmm.
and I was talking about something. I was like, "Yeah, Sonic needs to bring back this milkshake," and they're like, "Yeah, we're forwarding this to our I forget what they said, to the people that decide what recipes and everything goes out there." So that's fun. That's always fun.
Speaking of Sonic, man, I went there and their cheeseburgers are actually really good. Like I'm a West Coast guy, and so if I'm getting a burger, I'm getting In and Out. But I always like their hot dogs. But they used to have this hot dog. It was just a New York dog. It was a sauerkraut and onion. And I'm not I don't come from the sauerkraut people, man. But that thing was delicious. But they don't have it anymore. All they have is like the chili dog and just the regular like hot dog. I was like, man, I'm a you just encouraged me to tweet Sonic about bringing back some more different hot dogs.
they, they had a I think they called it the wild berry milkshake, and it actually had lavender flower petals in the milkshake and some other
Uh,
stuff. And if I was in a bad mood or a cranky mood, my wife would go and get one of those and
mm,
bring it home to me, and it worked. It worked. Like the lavender, I'd be chill. It was
mm.
it was it was like weed in a milkshake. I'd be so chill when I finished that milkshake, and they took it away. So that's the one I was tweeting about. I was like, hey, I can't remember the context of the tweet, but I tagged them and I was like, yeah, it'd be like having this milkshake. Y'all really need to bring it back. But no,
Well, it's
Sonic's got pretty good food. Um,
no, I'm
we
not
don't we
even.
don't
Yeah,
we don't have an In and Out here,
no.
so
You know what you reminded me of before we start wrapping up. You had the course. Which one was it? It was before you released this book. It wasn't the the homesteading one? Because I remember I had asked you, it's like, hey man, are you gonna talk about like candle making and like so and
yeah,
then the soap making? Was that it?
yeah. The Homestead course. Did y'all do candle making? Yeah,
Not
because I knew
yet,
you was
because
wanting to.
yeah, because we do homeschooling, but then like my kids like making stuff and then like selling it. right? Like setting up a table in front of the street or whatever, and and selling it. And I was like, oh, that'd be like a fun thing because we homeschool our kids, so it's
Yeah.
like, you know, my kids they like doing stuff, but I'm not the doing stuff guy, right? Because I'm the computer typing guy. Like I'm the nerd. Like I'm not like, so that's why I was like, I bought your course. It's like, oh, like this would be cool, like on a Saturday or Sunday for us to like start like doing stuff because, you know, I try to be aware of what my strengths and weaknesses are. Like if like you needed to replace a transmission in a car, I'm not the guy you're gonna call. I'm not even sure what you would really call me about. But you know what? Like, hey, I'll like hang around while you guys are doing stuff and tell me to get a wrench, but I'm not gonna know which one to get. But whatever. Like I thought it was cool because like, oh, I do want to learn this stuff because, you know, to do something with my kids, but then give them the opportunity to go and sell because I think that you do that with your kids, right? I've seen pictures of them like at what do they call them, farmers markets, and they're selling soaps and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So we have um I'm gonna give myself a plug here. Smith-homestead.com. It's a
Mm-hmm.
soap and candle company that me and my wife owns. So my daughter, we were at a farmer's market, and one of the neighboring vendors who we see every weekend, they had this really cute little handmade wooden kitchen outdoor. It's called a mud kitchen, so you can make your mud pies and everything else, and just spray everything on the water hose when you're done. So they had this really cute wood kitchen. It was like $60. My wife wanted it, or my daughter wanted it, and we were like, maybe you need to earn some money and try to buy this for yourself. Me and my wife already decided we was gonna buy it because my daughter's birthday was in like 2-3 weeks, and we so my daughter's like, I was like, you can do some chores, earn allowance, um, and she's like, what if I sell stuff like you and mom?
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, all right. So we went and got the stuff for her, and she made lip balm and lip gloss and bubble bath and lotion. So she's got her own little thing, and it's we call it Joyce's Creations,
Hmm.
and uh, Joyce is her middle name. She's named after my mom, but it's Joyce's Creations. She has her own banner now. So when we set up our tent at the farmers market, she has her own
Mm-hmm.
table and she has her own banner. And honestly, she does better than us most Saturdays. But because you can't resist a cute little 7-year-old blonde
No, you
headed
can't.
girl selling chapstick.
No, you can't. Don't be.
And
I think
so
is that
yeah,
stuff.
I
Is
was
that
gonna I
stuff
was
in
gonna say we actually caught flack from that.
really? Well, yeah, you can't clash
Yeah,
flag
we caught we
for
caught we caught flack on Twitter.
of course. Teaching and empowering your daughter to make something productive and selling it catches flack. What a
Yeah,
shocker.
yeah. No, I was being I was being an abusive parent. Apparently, it was child abuse.
Child would be so stupid.
Your
Is that
kid should
stuff?
be playing, not forced to work at a farmer's market.
It's like she is playing stupid. Is that stuff? Is that stuff like the recipes? Is
Yeah.
that in the Homestead cookbook?
I do have I have a soap making recipe in there. It's just a basic soap making recipe that you
Uh
can
huh.
build your own off of.
Uh huh.
So it's just a standard soap. It's how to create the soap itself. You
Okay.
can color it, you can scent it however you want to after that.
Uh huh.
I have most of my recipes are actually for canning, for preserving foods. But I did release my most recent one was candles, was making candles, and I have one coming out next month. The next part of the series will be um oh crap, my mind just went blank.
The series. So you went from soaps, candles to.
Oh, it's gonna be on making to canning foods to candle making. Now we're going to go into herbal medicine, making tinctures and teas and things like that.
Mm, nice. Yeah, I think that's good, especially like with your daughter. Like going back to what you were saying, like when my kids would just like make lemonade, and cars will stop, turn around, and pull over and just give like $20 for a cup of lemonade because they're just excited to see kids wanting to sell and be proactive, and like this is like stuff on their own. Like it's like, okay, like I'll move the tables and stuff for them, but it's like, hey, I want to sell lemonade. It's like, all right, like make the lemonade and I'll taste it to make sure it's not like nothing crazy, right? And it's like, oh, this is good. Like, all right, cool. But they make it, and then they go out there and they sell, and
Yeah,
they're
and
go ahead.
what it teaches is invaluable. My daughter's 7 years old. My daughter no longer asks me for money. Um, my daughter now has a mentality at 7 that she's like, I want this. Hey, Dad, how much do I need to sell to get this?
Mm-hmm.
She's completely changed her mentality at 7 years old that I'm going to earn this now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great for children to have that, instead of so many people, even adults now, are just give me, you give me
Mm-hmm.
this, you owe me this, I want this, you need to give me this. I think it's great to teach our children that, how can I earn this? What can I do to earn this?
Yeah,
Because that just carries over into adulthood and makes
it
everything so
does.
much better.
Yeah, it makes them resilient, right? Like I want strong, resilient, good kids, and I think that them being able to create and earn on their own is extremely valuable, because I think the earlier they learn that, the better off they'll be, and the world becomes their oyster, which I want for my kids, give them the most opportunities possible, but for them to create their own opportunities too, without me having to do it for them, is something else. Um,
Oh yeah, absolutely, and you know, I'm not a jerk. I'm the basic dad. I spoil my daughter. She got a teddy bear yesterday that she didn't pay for. I paid for.
mhm.
Um, she gets a bag of candy that I pay for. She cons her big brother out of paying for it for her. But big things, if it's $50, like she wanted to. You know what the Sierra Club is? It's kind of
CR Club.
an environmentalist group. So you can
Yes. Yeah.
adopt an animal. Yeah, you
Okay.
can
Yeah.
adopt an animal. You can adopt a wolf, adopt a bear, or whatever. She wanted to adopt a wolf,
Mm.
and she was like, "Daddy, how much?" And I was like, "It's $50." And she's like, "Okay, well, we need to go to market so I can sell some stuff." So that makes me proud. That
Yeah.
makes me really proud.
I didn't know you could adopt an animal. Like, is it like an animal out in the wild, or is it one in captivity? I'd be in captivity, right? It's like, what are you?
Um, it depends on the animal. So it's either an animal that's in captivity, or it goes to fund researching environmental protections for the animals,
Gotcha.
bettering their habitats and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We
I'm I'm very I'm a very environmentally conscious person.
we went to Yellowstone, and they were saying that they reintroduced wolves into the park, and it changed the whole habitat. Like streams got rerouted, like all the animals started flourishing once they introduced wolves into the environment. So wolves have been like pretty big in our house for the last month or so, because our kids did a study on Yellowstone before we went off. So wolves are
Yeah,
pretty popular. So to be able to adopt a wolf, that actually sounds pretty cool too.
yeah, it's pretty neat. Um, like I said, I'm a big environmental person. Down here, black bears are pretty much non-existent. Black bears and panthers. I think in the last couple of years we've had a increase in bear and panther sightings in my area, which will do nothing but help improve the ecosystem around here. I know nobody
Yeah,
likes the idea of having a panther stalking around their backyard, but
right.
it's good for the environment.
Well, especially if you have chickens and livestock, right? That's you don't want to hear about bears and panthers.
Right, and that's actually why we end up getting Great Pyrenees. We have 4 guard dogs, livestock guardian dogs, on the property,
Hmm.
and usually, you know, they do a really good job of just keeping stuff from coming. So it's not really to fight and kill anything. It's most predators want easy prey. They want an easy meal. They don't want to do anything that's going to endanger themselves and
Hmm.
possibly get themselves injured. So when you got 420-pound white dogs running around barking and growling and snarling their teeth, it would be like a panther taking on a small wolf pack.
Hmm.
So they just don't. They just
Hmm.
avoid that area. They go to the
Yeah.
next meal, which will probably be easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, as that wildlife comes in, you got to deter it, but it's worth it.
All right, brother. We're up on our time here, but man, this is a lot of fun. I'm glad we finally got to connect. You can find him at Homestead Padre on Twitter. That is HMESTED Padre PADRE on Instagram. I'm sure he posts lots of pictures of himself. Homestead Padre, spelled out the whole thing, HOMESTEADPADRE. Joseph, Mr. Smith. Glad we are able to do this today, brother.
Man, Joel, I've been looking forward to it. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man, that's that sweet Southern voice too, man. I want to eat some cornbread right now, some honey and some butter. I appreciate you,
I'll have to
brother.
send you some honey. I'm going to send you some out of my hive next spring. All
All
right,
right,
man.
that sounds delicious. He is Homestead Padre Joseph Smith. He is my friend. Thanks so much for following along today, folks. Have a good one.